This RedRock 4x4 42-inch extreme recovery jack in black is for those of you that have a 1987 and up Wrangler that are looking for a recovery jack like this. This is a farm style jack. This is going to get you out of some sticky situations on the trail in a situation where you need a jack that has a very high lifting capacity. Now, it's very important to note, this is not something that you absolutely need in any scenario. This is certainly not something that you need just because you put a lift and some big tires on your Jeep in order to do some general maintenance. That regular scissor jack or bottle jack that comes with your Jeep is going to be more than enough to lift your Jeep from the axle, allow you to pull tires off, do general maintenance type things. This is going to be a recovery jack, so it's going to be for making trail repairs where you absolutely cannot use any other style jack, or you can also use this as a come along or almost as a hand-powered winch should you need to do that. This is, however, something that can be a little bit dangerous. You figure you have the entire weight of your Jeep lifted possibly 42 inches up in the air. This has a very small foot on it. It can get very tippy, so you do want to be very careful when using something like this, and that's why a lot of people, even people that are very seasoned off-roaders, will stay away from something like this because, again, it can be dangerous. However, if you do want to have one, because sometimes this does come in very handy on the trail, you just have to know how to use it and be careful with it. As far as an installation, there's not really much of one. You are going to want to, of course, get this strapped down either to the inside or the outside of your Jeep. If you're going to have it on the inside, make sure it's very secure. If you get into an accident on-road or a roll or flop off-road, you don't want this big heavy jack bouncing around on your interior. And if you're going to put it on the outside, again, just make sure it's nice and secured, and you also want to make sure you take care of this thing. If you make sure that you keep it greased, it will continue to work really well for you. If you just leave it out in the weather and let it deteriorate, everything's going to freeze up and it's not going to work when you need it. As far as the construction goes, there are going to be quite a few jacks out there on the market that are going to be very similar to this one. RedRock 4x4 makes this jack in a couple of different lift heights. They also make it in both red and in black. And aside from RedRock 4x4, again, a lot of different brands that are all going to use a very similar mechanism. This one is going to work very well for you, again, as long as you take care of it, especially if you're storing it on the outside of the vehicle. And it's going to be affordably priced over some of the other ones that might have a bigger name brand attached to them. So like I said, not much of an install at all. Wherever you decide to put this, make sure that it is securely attached either to the inside or the outside of your Jeep. As far as using it, you're going to have your lift arm here. This is going to be the foot that's going to be on the ground. There is a lever here that's going to be your selector so that the jack either goes up or down as you move the arm, and that's really all there is to it. This jack comes in at right around $75, which I do think is going to be a pretty good deal. Like I mentioned before, some of the jacks that are very, very similar to this one but have a bigger name brand attached to them are going to be a little bit more expensive. Of course, even if you go with a RedRock 4x4 jack, if you go up from the 42-inch to one of the larger sizes, they're going to be a little bit more expensive as well, but you would expect that. There's just going to be more material there. So if you're looking for a farm jack for recoveries on the trail, I would recommend taking a look at this option from RedRock 4x4 that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.